Hey guys, it's your girl Londyn, and today I'm bringing you the very first hashtag Fall Fest review here on the channel, and we are going to be reviewing the Nomad palette by Juviasplace. So, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified of all my new videos. And if you have not, head on over to Instagram and follow me there so you can see what I'm doing day to day in my life, especially because fall is here. The leaves will be changing and the pictures will be coming. So if you feel like you want to see what the Nomad palette is all about, see what looks we can create, then hold tight, sit there, keep watching because we're going to get right into it. So guys, the Nomad palette. The Nomad palette is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful cover, absolutely beautiful picturing, beautiful kind of gradient that we have going on here, and I would expect nothing less from Juviasplace. Juviasplace is a black-owned brand, so I find that to be very exciting that that is the first Fall Fest review that we're doing is on and with a black-owned brand and product. Juviasplace on their website said that their palettes are vegan and cruelty-free. So again, I think that that is another plus because many brands today still have not gone vegan or cruelty-free, and Juviasplace has done that as stated on their website. Juviasplace, their shadows are very pigmented. They were created specifically with the melanated man, woman, child, person in mind. And with that being said, the deeper your complexion, the harder sometimes shadows can have showing up true to color, not being ashy, not looking gray, and it really can create a problem. So Juviasplace really sought to kind of solve that problem by not only making palettes that were purposefully inspired by African tradition, African culture, African names, things of that nature, but also making sure that each and every shade is pigmented enough to be able to show true to color on the fair complexions as well as the deeper complexions, because that's where many brands, too many brands, were really lacking in the market, and Juviasplace really kind of fulfilled that piece of the market by creating shades that really could be wearable for everybody. So, because we are here in fall, and as you can see, this is a palette that what you see is what you get. Exactly what you're seeing on the outside is exactly what you're seeing on the inside. Now, I did check their website right before I filmed this, and the palette was still on the site. It originally was $15, but they had it marked down until $10. I don't know how long that sale will be going on, but I will go ahead and I will link that in the description box if you want to head over and maybe make a purchase for it. This says that the net weight of this is 18.9 grams, which means that is 0.67 ounces per pan. Juviasplace has some pretty big pans. I mean, I have never seen anybody pan Juviasplace palettes. I'm sure there are people out there who have, but I would think that this would take you quite some time to pan these because they are just very big. You're definitely getting your money's worth. Monetarily, the value is there. They are affordable for what you're getting, and you're getting a fantastic quality, huge pans, pigmentation. Again, they didn't lack on the artwork. Though this is made out of a cardboard, but it's definitely a nice weighted cardboard, so it's very nice. The one thing I wish they did have were the names of the shades on the palettes, because on this particular palette, they do not have the names of the shades here, and that is slightly disappointing because it makes it more difficult to be able to just say a shade name that you're using, but it's okay because I think that everything else kind of makes up for it. So I'm kind of looking at it, and I looked at it for a little while before I started filming because I wanted to see what I was feeling, and I think that I'm just going to kind of go for it. My eyes are already primed with the NYX Proof It concealer, eyeshadow primer. So I think what we're going to do is, again, I think I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to use this kind of muted olive green right here. I think I'm going to apply this all over my lid. Yes, I think that's what we're doing. We're just going to go right in, and I'm using the Colourpop E13 brush. It's just a nice kind of flat shader. These are slightly powdery, but I have been finding from, I think it was that girl Shay, said that powder is actually good. That's what she has learned from watching some makeup artists. So I've never had a problem with powder because, again, eyeshadows are powder, but it's just a little bit of kick up. So let's go ahead and let's get started, shall we? So I really like this brush because, as you can see, it really applied the eyeshadow pretty quickly. Because it is so big, it allows you to utilize a lot of your lid space in less kind of swipes. Now, this looks beautiful. This is very dark. And this is very true to the color that was in pan. Again, it was kind of like that olive color, almost, I almost want to say like a khaki olive, like a military olive green is what it was. I'm just wanting to put this all over the eye and just kind of lightly blending it right there at the top. I think that it looks really, really pretty. Very nice. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the other eye too. I kind of have an idea of maybe where I want to go with this look, but to be quite honest with you, I don't have like a vision in my head per se. Like I don't know like what it's going to end up looking like or anything like that. I'm really just winging a prayer here, because I just didn't want to do the standard kind of orange look, you know, kind of like the orange spice with the yellow. I really wanted to try and do something a bit different, especially out of my comfort zone. I am not someone who typically, or not typically, I would never have taken this shade and put it all over my lid like this. This just wouldn't have happened. But because we are in Fall Fest, I really think that this is the time to kind of go ahead and try some new things with the palettes. You know, I mean, really kind of see what they're giving you. Now, the bad thing about having hooded eyes is that I don't have a lot of visible lid space to work with. Like when I close my eyes like this, like, oh yeah, it's pretty good lid space. When you open your eyes, you don't. So I always have to go higher above my natural crease because I need to create a crease for myself. Because if I go into what my natural crease is, eyeshadow will be for naught. It will be essentially pointless because you're not going to be able to see it. It's not going to look the way that I want it to look. I've got to go higher and create a new crease for myself, which ends up becoming slightly above the crease, which I think might be called like the orbital bone. Not quite sure, but I think that is what it is called. So I just want to kind of, I don't want to angle it too much, but I do just want to kind of give it a little bit of a blown out but still slightly structured look. So I'm really liking that. I do have my color switch because that is kind of what I use to make sure I can use the same brushes if I so choose to. But I think what we're going to do now is I think we're going to go into a slightly smaller brush. We're going to do the Colourpop E16. These Colourpop brushes, especially these the ones that are in their roll that are pink, these are really, really good brushes. I really do like them. So I'm just wiping it off my color switch just to ensure that, you know, there is no color on it. And I think now I want to go into my crease. I kind of want to kind of just smoke out and blow out the color a little bit. And I think for this, I'm going to use, okay, I think for this, I'm going to use this orange shade right here. So now we're going to get into this. I'm just going to take a little bit of it. I'm going to kind of just buff out these edges. Now, typically, this would have been something I would have done first. I would have kind of gone in with my crease color, got things together, then went in with, you know, a lid shade and things like that. So I'm really going out of my comfort zone with this one because I'm really kind of going, in my mind, working backwards. But I just want to see what it is that I can create with this. Now again, now remember I had to go higher because I have a hooded lid. So naturally when I'm starting to blow this out, you can see I'm basically at the brow bone highlight. So that's why I feel like, especially for myself with hooded lids, a brow bone highlight becomes so important, because I have to, my shadow is naturally going to go up there. I have to find a way to kind of break it up a little bit. Otherwise it will just, there will be no kind of like line of demarcation for it. So that's, I mean, hooded lids, I think, get a bad rap because they're not ideal, they're not easy to necessarily work with, but I think that they have their own advantages, too. I mean, if you mess up on your eyeshadow, a lot of times people can't even see it anyway. If you decide that you want to do a winged liner, although it is slightly more difficult on a hooded lid, if you mess it up, people can't see it anyway because it kind of goes away. So I think that it has its own advantages having, you know, kind of a hooded lid. So we're going to now come over here and just kind of start placing this. And so far, I'm really liking this. Like, I'm just so glad that fall is here. And I know fall is really September 22nd. But again, I don't subscribe to calendars and that negativity. September 1st through November 30th is fall for me. And then, of course, you have December 1st really through, I would say, St. Patrick's Day for me is winter, especially here in the East. We have had full-blown blizzards on St. Patrick's Day. So for me, and it's still very cold on St. Patrick's Day. So for me, you know, right through there is still going to be, you know, winter time. So I don't really subscribe to what the calendar says. I kind of have my own way of figuring out what I think the seasons are. Okay, so then I kind of want to put just a smidge, like almost like haphazardly there. Just want to put that there. I don't know if I'm going to do lashes today because I do have the Kosas mascara, and so I do want to see what that can do with this. But I definitely think that this is it's a look, so it's definitely going to probably need a little bit. So now what I want to do is I do want to kind of create a little bit of depth kind of in the corner of my eyes, so in the outer V's. So we're going to be using the E19 Colourpop brush, and we're going to go in with this deep, dark, rich chocolate shade, and that's what we're going to put in our outer V, just to kind of deepen it up slightly, just to allow it to have a little more depth. And we're going to kind of put it a little along the lash line, and then kind of slightly in the corner of that crease, because we want it to be there, but we don't want it to kind of take over too much kind of what's going on. So just a little bit. I'm not using a ton of pressure. I'm using fairly light pressure for this. Now, I am really liking this look. I think that this looks really nice. Like, I could definitely see going to get some hot chocolate. We have several historic towns by where I live at, and it's so beautiful. I mean, my town has a historic town too, but I mean, we have like 6 really nice historic towns around where I live at, and it's just so nice to go and get like hot cider and walk. I know this year will be different, of course, because, you know, things in the world have changed quite a bit, so I don't necessarily think it's going to be anywhere near what it has been in previous years, but this look is kind of just giving me those vibes and kind of bringing back those little kind of memories for me. So This would be fun if you want to leave it like this, but like I said, we do want to do a brow bone highlight. So we're just going to take this. I don't even know what brush this is. This is a Moda brush, just kind of a flat brush. And we're going to go into the lightest shade here, which is kind of like this champagne-y cream. It does look like it's like a satin, as in it kind of is a matte that has like those little shimmers in it, but you can tell that they really don't even show up. They kind of just buff out. So I'm just taking a little bit of that, and then I'm just going to kind of lightly put that on my brow bone, just to kind of highlight this and not let it become too dark like the rest of the look, again, because we do have hooded lids here. You know, we do kind of need to make a difference. I don't know if you can tell between the eye that does have it and the eye that doesn't have it. But I think it does just brighten it up, and it helps it not get lost in the shadows that are there. And I think that it helps to open the eye a bit, and that is something that definitely, because we're working with hooded eyes, it's definitely something that I need to have, you know, and it just kind of makes sure that color stays nicely where it is, but doesn't kind of start getting a little too crazy, hazy, lazy baby. You know what I'm saying? So again, you could leave it like this, but what we're going to do is we're going to add a shimmer. Now in here, there is two. There is this kind of goldy one, and then there's this kind of like pewter black one. So this is kind of the, it actually is kind of like a blacky green, and then this is the gold one. I think because we already have such a deep, dark look, I think that, ooh, I don't know, I mean, I was thinking the gold, but at the same time now I'm looking at this, and this is like a black, like deep hunter green shift. I'm kind of thinking maybe we should pizzazz. You know what? Let's do it. Let's take the darker color. Let's just pizzazz it just all the way up, right? So let's see what this is going to do. Because again, at the end of the day, it's just makeup, right? This isn't kind of make or break, life or death. This is just some fun makeup. Oh, I really do like that. I did add quite a bit of depth to the eye, right? So let's kind of do some more here. Now these feel smooth, but they're not the smoothest I've ever felt. Like, I think some of the smoothest shimmers I've ever felt have been in Natasha Denona palettes. Those are quite smooth feeling. Those feel very, very buttery. These feel nice, but they do feel slightly more dry. And I am noticing that this shade, I like it, but it definitely is not too punchy. Now you can wet this, but I'm not a huge fan of wetting, I'm just using a brush to kind of get into the corner. I'm not a huge fan of wetting my shimmer shades. I prefer to use them with my finger in order to kind of get some of that effect because of the natural kind of oils that are on your fingers. What I've found is that a lot of shimmer shades to me end up looking like a little bit too metallic-y once they get wet, and they almost can then start to look a bit chunky, and I don't like that look at all. And then hard pan can start happening, and to me that's just no bueno kind of altogether. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this nice fluffy brush, and this is the Jaclyn Hill JH30, and I'm just going to kind of, there's nothing on here, I'm just going to kind of go in this crease I just want to make sure everything looks there, but also just kind of nicely blended, just so there's not super harsh lines, especially because we put that shimmer in there. I want you to still be able to see it, but I just don't want there to be very harsh lines, especially because the look kind of is so deep. So we're now going to do the under eye, and for the under eye, especially because this is a very heavy look, I think what we're actually going to end up doing with this is we're going to take this kind of, I don't know what you would call this. This is like a deep, I guess we could go with hunter green, kind of what it is. We're going to go in with that color, and we're going to run that kind of along the bottom of our eye, but we're only going to go in for the lower outer to inner third. We're not going to do the whole thing. We're just going to do just this much. I think that this is looking really, really pretty. Really like this a lot. It's a very nice color, right? And then I think the inner part, what we're going to do is we're going to do something that has to do with this yellow. So there's two yellows in this palette. This yellow, again, is kind of that satin where it's yellow and it kind of has the shimmers that probably aren't going to show up, and it looks more bright yellow. And then this is more of kind of like a mid-tone mustard yellow. So we're going to take the satin one and we're going to put that in the inner third just to kind of help to brighten it just a bit and kind of add another layer of depth. And so this is, like I was saying, like it's not super kind of bright. It's kind of like a wash. I'm sure if you were to use this kind of over the lid, it would be different, but we're just trying to kind of open things up a little bit without trying to look too jaundiced, we hope. And then what we're going to do to kind of blow out the bottom is we're going to go back and we're going to take our Colourpop E16 brush, and we are going to take a slight mix of two colors. We're going to take the last two colors that we have not used, and we're going to take the kind of mustardy, mid-tone mustard yellow, and we're going to take the orange. We're going to combine those, and we're going to kind of blow out the bottom, just so that way we have a bit. Actually, we did use the orange when we blew out the top, but we want to kind of bring that into the bottom and just kind of see what that can be like, just to help it kind of all connect itself. The thing with kind of yellows is sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, please don't let me. Have you ever seen that Instagram meme? It says like, when you look at basically somebody with like minimal makeup on, their hair up in a bun, they look super cute. You look at yourself in the mirror with it, and you just look like you're sick. That's what I try not to go for with, like, especially yellows, because yellows can make you look, or at least make me look jaundiced very quickly. So that's why I wanted to warm it up with kind of the orange, and that's why I just keep going back and forth just to make sure, because there's like no precise, like it's like tap tap, but it's not like a precise measurement of how much orange versus how much yellow. And now I'm just going to do just the orange, just to ensure that we in fact do have the warmth that we want. Very, very nice. Really, really like that. And I'm kind of thinking that there's a possibility I might need lashes with this, but I'm not quite sure. So now that we have that done, let me give that just one extra. There we go. So we're going to use the very last shade in the palette, and that is going to be that gold shade that we had voted against when we were doing the lid right here. And we're going to use this in our inner corner highlight. It's very nice. It's mid chunky, so it's soft, but it's has a little chunk to it. Very pretty though. And I like to kind of take my inner corner slightly up to the top and slightly along the bottom, just so that way when light hits it, it really kind of gets that kind of like a C. It really kind of gets that color. I really, really like that. I think it looks very, very pretty. It's very, very nice. So we're finished with that. I'm just wiping off that brush, my color switch, and I'm just kind of blending it, smoothing out. Oh, very nice. Smoothing it out along the bottom a little bit, so that way it can kind of catch the light. Perfect, perfect, and perfect. So now we're going to do liners. So I'm going to take the Colourpop liner, and this is in the color Make Love, and this is liquid, and this is yellow. So we're going to see how this goes. I want to do this for the top liner and just kind of see what it does. Kind of pizzazz maybe that it gives. I am kind of far away from my mirror, which is probably huge foul on my part, considering I already have horribly poor eyesight, so I'm really doing this by feel. Oh, very nice. Actually, that's very, very pretty. I really like that. So, excuse me if I'm getting closer, but it's because I'm trying to see. I'm actually very surprised that this was able to show up at all, considering the kind of dark shades that we had. Now, it did leave the tip with some of that color, so it's like you do have to wipe it off. So I'm hoping we'll still have enough pizzazz to kind of go on this other eye. Doing liner on camera, I feel like it's so weird. I say it every time, but it's just like, I don't know, I just think it's strange. I think we make strange looking faces. The whole concept is just a little weird. Okay, very nice. So just kind of like lightened and brightened a little bit. And then on the bottom, we're going to take their cream liner, and this is in the color Fast Lane, and this is kind of like the color that was in the palette. Kind of like a greeny gray. It's almost like exactly this color. Is what it is. I really don't necessarily know how to describe it. We're going to put this right here in the bottom, and we're going to just kind of bring everything full circle. Oh, looks so pretty. Full circle together. Very, very nice. These are my favorite liners, Colourpop cream liners. I definitely think they changed their formula, and they're just so good. This has become par for the course, and that is that my camera cut off because I was talking too long. So what I was saying is that I know we had the liquid yellow liner on the top, but I think I want a little more with it. So I think I'm going to use the gel liner in Sub-Zero, which is like a yellow gold. And I think I'm going to see how this fares up top and really hope it doesn't kind of go awry and ruin everything. But I kind of just wanted to see if it can punch it up. Oh, yes, which it did. Punch it up just a little bit. Which it totally did. The only thing I wish were slightly different about these gel liners is I wish that they had self-sharpeners in the lids, so that way every time you took it off, it resharpened, like the Pure Cosmetics ones. Because it would be nice if you could keep like this, like it's no longer, it's just rounded, and it makes it difficult to get like a nice clean crisp line because you don't have a point anymore on it. But I really do like that. I think that came out really, really pretty. So what we're going to do is throw on Tough Cookie by Dose of Colors. It's a lip gloss. Should give us a little kind of brown. See how this looks with it. Okay. Okay, I like it. And then we're going to take the Kosas. This is the new mascara. Their Big Clean mascara. I really do love this formula. So we're going to see how things fare with just this and see if we need to put on lashes. I'm hoping not, though. Oh, no, this is beautiful. This mascara formula and this wand, it's like, it's not too liquidy, and it kind of just, when I say tug, I don't mean it in like a bad way, but you can like feel it like coating all of your lashes. Like, it's not slipping through too quickly. It's very nice. Now, if you wanted to do lashes, you totally could, and I think that that would be fine. I think lashes, although to me they can kind of be a pain to put on, I think that they're pretty. The thing about me is that I don't wear dramatic lashes, so I end up wearing basically like demi wispies. And although it gives my eyelashes uniformity, they're not kind of like these big, beautiful, dramatic lashes. They literally look like my lash. They're no longer than my lash. It just kind of makes them appear more full, which I think that I can also achieve that, especially with this mascara, just doing more than one coat of mascara. So really, really like this. I think it's very pretty. Really like the way that that looks a lot. For the bottom lash, we're just going to use the Clinique mascara, and this is just called Bottom Lash Mascara, and that's just because the wand is very small. Now this is a very liquidy format, so you do want to be careful because of that, because it is, you know, liquidy. I don't know, do you guys like this lip color? I don't know, I'm kind of thinking, should we go lighter with it, or should we not? I don't know. I used to never do my bottom lashes. I think it's because I always had bad formulas, and so it would always kind of bleed and make me look like a raccoon, and so I really hated it. But once I found the Clinique mascara, I really, really loved it because it looks so good. Like, I feel like bottom mascara just completes the look. But I think that, you know, you have to have the right formula, and I feel like this and MAC's Giga Black Bottom Lash Mascara are both good, but I haven't shopped at MAC in ages, so Clinique it is. You just want to take your time, and there you go. So I think I might want to change my lipstick though, from that one to I don't know if I love that. I think maybe let's try Fenty's Bubble Rum. So let's take, I have this kind of hand swatch I was using earlier to wipe my hands off with. And let's see if the Slip Shine and Bubble Rum, which is, it's also brown, but it's, oh no, it's a little bit different. Let's see. I think I might like this more. Yeah, I like this more. So it's more kind of like a warm, almost like a reddy brown. Yeah, I like that a lot more. So guys, we are all finished. I love it. How do you guys like it? I'm going to move you guys in a little bit closer so we can just get an up close look. We'll come back, we'll have some thoughts, and we'll chat about it. So, 2 shakes. Alright guys, that was a close-up look, so please let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of this look? What did you think of the palette? I thought the palette performed very well. I think that this definitely is more of a unique look that I typically would not have done, but I'm very happy with it. I'm glad that I stepped outside my comfort zone. I think that this is, again, my famous word, quintessential. This is a quintessential fall palette, especially if you're looking for these kind of staple colors all in one palette. If you don't want to buy a ton of palettes, you just kind of want everything right here, this is where you have it. And I think that this is a fantastic palette. I really like the way the shadows blend in. I like the way everything laid down. I think that it looks really nice. I'm really happy and excited about it. So I would say that the Nomad palette for our Fall Fest reviews, it gets an A+ for me, or it gets several leaves for me. 5 leaves, is that a thing? I don't know. But I think that I definitely would recommend that palette, especially being $15 and right now being on sale for 10. I think you really can't beat the price, especially with the shadows, the color story, and the way that they performed. So again, let me know in the comment section if you've already picked this up. What kind of looks have you done with it? If you're going to pick this up, let's just have a conversation about it. If you enjoyed this video, please give me 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. And guys, until next time, I love you so much. I'll miss you, and enjoy fall. Bye.